Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. We're out here on another creek adventure. Got a bridge construction going on behind me. This is a section of this is actually a new creek. It's not a new section. This is actually a new creek I have yet to been in here in Pickens. So if you're familiar with the area, you probably know where I'm at. Seeing that. So we got some overcast going on today, so it's gonna be harder to see down into the water, but I wanted to get out here today because we do have some rain on the way, and I wanted to check this creek before the rain and then come back a little bit after the rain and check it again. So the reason I want to do that is because if somebody's been here before me and has already checked this, and then it rains and floods, more bottles will come out of the ground, get uncovered out of the banks. So we'll just have to see what's in here. So let's go walk a creek. Who wants to go with me? Well, it's not a bottle. Let's see what it is. Bottom of a train, maybe? That's what I'm thinking. Base of a train. Front wheels would have been right there. Yeah. Yeah, that's a little creepy. Alright, this is the first sign of any type of glass life. Everything else has been aluminum can, aluminum can, aluminum can, aluminum can, aluminum can. I'm sure I can find some more. There is a ton of aluminum cans. But I believe this is a Clorox. It's broke. Yes, it's a Clorox. So this would have been, I believe, 60s. Not as old as we're looking for. But like I said, this is the first sign of glass life in this section. So I'm gonna walk up a little bit more. If I don't find anything else in all this, then we'll go downriver or downstream a little bit and see what we can find. Or maybe change for locations. Alright guys, we got out of that creek. I wasn't finding anything. I was finding a lot of aluminum cans. No glass. You know, that Clorox was the only thing I did find. So we're back in a section of the creek down in middle of town that I have yet to explore. So we'll it's only a small section. It goes up around this bend and then probably about another half a mile that way. We'll check this section out and call it a day. See what we can find. It is so pretty back here. This creek that runs through the middle of Pickens. It is so pretty. Just with the waterfalls and the scenery. I can definitely tell you, it is much better doing this with the sun out and without overcast. You see way much better. Alright guys, we changed it up today, so I wasn't finding anything in the creeks. So I wanted to come out here again with the family and see this place and let you guys know about this place. This is the Old Pickens Church. A Presbyterian congregation was probably organized in the 1840s. It is impossible to fix the exact date because the church records was destroyed in a fire around the turn of the 20th century. Construction on the church began in 1849 and was completed 2 years later. The bricks were made from clay from the banks of the Kiowa River. The heart pine floors of the church are original, as are the pulpit and the pews. There is a side entrance that leads to the galley used by the slaves. The cemetery contains over 200 grave sites. The earliest belongs to Lieutenant John Reed, bears the dates 1750 to 1825. The church is the sole surviving building on the site of the lost town of Pickens Courthouse and is under the care of the historic Old Pickens Foundation. Pickens Courthouse. With the creation of Pickens District, a location for the district's courthouse had to be selected. In 1828, this site was chosen and named Pickens Courthouse in honor of Revolutionary War hero General Andrew Pickens. The town, as laid out, was 8 blocks long by 4 wide. By the mid 1800s, the town had expanded to include hotels, general stores, a jail, an academy, a Presbyterian church, and many residents in addition to its courthouse. In 1868, Pickens District was divided into Pickens and Oconee counties, and New Pickens, 14 miles away, became the new county seat. Many structures, including the courthouse, were moved to the new town. Andrew Pickens, 1793 to 1817. Pickens County and its county seats are both named in honor of General Andrew Pickens, hero of the American Revolution, state legislator, and U.S. congressman. The Pickens family arrived in the Carolina backcountry in the mid-18th century. He married Rebecca Calhoun in 1765 and established himself as a trader on a Cherokee path near Abbeville. He and his family survived the Cherokee War, only to be caught up in the War for Independence from Great Britain. Following the war, he declared it too crowded in Abbeville and moved north to the area of the Pendleton District, which would have been divided into Oconee and Pickens County in 1868. Andrew Pickens died in his home near Tallahassee, South Carolina in 1817.
There's a sound in the stream, like a voice in a dream, calling out through the Carolina pines. Boots hit the bank where the cottonwoods sway, glass in the mud from a long lost day, a bottle, a buckle, a wheel spoke worn, pieces of lives that the river's born. Those old muddy waters, they're calling me, with a tail in the tide and a rusted key, where time runs slow and the wild vines grow, down where the hidden things sleep below. Found a mason jar holding morning light, trapped like a firefly caught in flight. Old iron hubs and a wagon chain, echoes of wheels rolling home again. Oh, those old muddy waters, they're calling me, with a tail in the tide and a
Now we are in a different section of the graveyard. The courthouse is over there. You walk through the woods over there and it opens up into this. So we're really really standing where all of those buildings would have been. So when they flooded Lake Kiowee back in the 60s. And fun fact, if you ever watched the movie Deliverance, I know it's a sort of a iffy type movie, but if you've ever watched the movie Deliverance, it talks about the flooding of the valley here. And so that movie was actually filmed not too far from here, up in Georgia. But yeah, when they flooded Lake Kiowee and made Lake Kiowee, they took all the graves and moved them up here. Here's another little fun fact if you didn't know about old graveyards like this. You see all these graves? Todd. These are all, you see how it's sunken in? I don't know if you can really see that, but that's sunken in probably a good 4 inches, 3 inches. Same with that one, all the way up that way. And right here. Well, back then, all they had was pine boxes. Well, and over time, pine deteriorates and fills it in. So we're in the woods a little bit. I see a whole bunch of downed trees over this way, and most of the town would have sat this way. So one thing is, you see a downed tree, the tree's done most of the work for you. So you want to look at the roots of downed trees. And I'll tell a story. If there's any bottles there, they'll be in the roots.
Found a mason jar holding morning light, trapped like a firefly caught in flight. Old iron hubs and a wagon chain.